That sounds like some Pink Panther music, by the way.
It's interesting. It's like um I think it's Scandinavian. So yeah.
Masennuksen talviaatto. Juutalainen ylläni laskeutuu. Peittää hattuni valkein pisaroin ja kiivaana pieksien lyö. Kenties olen vain nukkunut liian vähän. Tarkemmin ottaen kuukauden päiviin. On kaikenlainen pienikin käynyt, ylivoimaiseksi ylläni kiepponut. Padam, 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 padam. Hei päivä minun auringossani vuosiin olen noussut. Ei sitä kiertävää palloa kukaan näkemään sattunut on. Näet hukkaamaan mä maailmani satoin. Näet hukkaamaan mä maailmani satoin. Ikkunastani näkyy sataman laituri. Tuomeriainain myrskyävät pilvet, jotka liekkeenä taivasta repii kiskoa korkeuksiin aaltojen harjat. Jam, da 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 jam. myrsken raivoavan vaivuttuuneen. Käydä ikkunalautani reunaan ja liitä kynäpilviin.
All right, that seemed to have worked. So yeah, so I guess I'll wait. Yeah.
Some symmetries are broken and others remain. In general, tags enable us to observe and act on properties previously hidden by symmetries.
Yeah, I got the next one. If you
Without wisdom, no gain. Yet gain must end. All men will be one. For there lies true peace and happiness too. It is invisible and inaudible and quite infinite. Can you all hear the sound?
Take you through the secrets of the J chamber, lying northward in the manger. And my fist of the bishop clenched in my right fist, left wrist twisted, text calligraphic, recording sacred manuscripts of Mao Kong tongue meeting and reciting the ren of a Reiki healing symbol, the jewel of the Nile, Kapow Lao Tzu decided to scribe 5,000 characters out Jay Ching, interpreting with an unrepressed third eye, revitalize my chi through the dive sex, wisdom, ejaculation, produce activation of the chakra system, straining and striving that's counterproductive meditation. Hit up the situation with Choku Ray. Say hey key, the first degree of the healing symbols of the submental.
Behold the masters of change as I descend into the 36 hexagrams of the I Ching. Within a state of meditation, Taoist monks and speaks the wisdom from the Lao Tzu and opens up the book of the Tao Te Ching. I connect the 3 pillars of sin, the incarnation of the immortal guru who stretches his chakra, breathes in the prana. I then possess the immortality of the Avatara. I recite the Golden Sutra, born in the holy city of Lhasa. The spirits of the Himalaya reside within the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the Analects of Confucius. I unfold the ancient teachings of Shang Tzu, swinging the 7-bladed sword of Hoshin, the synod of the Shang Dynasty, the studies of the art of war with Sun Tzu, from the gates of Shaolin to the sacred temples of Hong Kong, to the great walls of China, to the deserts of Mongolia.
Teacher, the Buddha tells us that in the great infinity beyond all the nothings is the emptiness of the eternal 5. Sight, sound, smell, feel. The 5 flavors dull all the taste. The 5 tones deafen every ear. The 5 colors, they all blind the eye. But they do not pass, they are all eternal. All things come to us.
I'm on Sin, Hotep Ray, now Cypher. Grip from the lion's paw, eagle claw, bangle tooth tiger. Scribe to the script writer, the 4 pitch fighter, tuning 8 octave C. Messiah saved, the first resurrected from the grave, after the image and the likeness of what God made. Not good, El Wahud, Mir Aswad, pyramid upward, kaput, spit 16 bars without. With the vividest look, deliverance took. Tai Chi, the all-seeing eye read. Magnificent force, shine brighter than the light from a torch. The benevolent, intelligent source with a magnetic force to stay suspended while the planet revolves, creating dark with a melanin spark on the periodic element chart.
I wear the iron shirt of Qigong, so retreat or be stung by the gentle palm prick. Leave your spinal with no feeling, the mental conflict. Discipline provides healing, the aspirants are kneeling in the temple of the relic. The monk's tone envelops, the heathen and the zealot turn to the middle path. Perhaps they could go and tell it, embellish the footsteps of Siddhartha. Develop the word so the punch could hit harder as times get darker. The visionary ascent to spark a vision of nirvana. Jesus wasn't the only one born with the Virgin Mama. The Buddha was born from the side of Queen Maya, and both warned against the ways of physical desire. Urge you to acquire the knowledge which leads to the divine smile, which can be found at Anchor in the Amazon and Nile.
Universal order can be seen as the lattice which guides the growth of the vine, as an archetype that guides and supports life on the material plane. While many agents can be introduced into this machine and undergo the archetypal steps to its perfection, the one to which the most closely guarded alchemical allegory and occult law is addressed is consciousness itself. This is the essence of the great work.
Gaining respect, another matter, my brother gathered. You're having your artillery raw, flow, thought, guts, get ready, gone, it'll be war. No shortcuts, me, I be the workaholic. Unless the verb perturb the herb, I'm stressed, berserk, I'm all sick. Till every bit of my person is driven hell bent. When every bit of exertion is given, well spent. Some of y'all bring about a strong and shack. With the acting, my steel for real. Might go otherwise, strike y'all brother size XL. Shrinking them like Rick Moranis. Bring it baddest, I prove it literal, I prove it's pitiful. My movement critical. The blood of this I transfuse to mad crews. From bad news to utter bliss. If you're checking the beyond, aiming for deeper otherness, disrespecting the peons, aiming to keep y'all brothers pissed. So what's the word, Mr. Land? So what's the word, Mr. Land?
Beast on the bull, start having the bucket.
See the scenario from aerial planes. I rain terrains in modules and monsoon. My mental lyrical style BC to mongrel. Physical beings, a vehicle. Fiends glean my freestyle. Meanwhile, my degrees wild exceeding normal range. Course to gauge writtens. Sitting in deja vu, spitting seeds from numerous breeds of verses. Vintage that existed in vineyards. Past tense, intense, immense like internet. Syndicate juggernauts. Not lyrics that stop traffic in your whip. When your audio clit is broke, you take deck jokes, causing vehicular wrecks at intersex grande, flip sponde style, selective sonnets, Caribbean owl goddess, possess a process that cause stress to your harvest, providing the antidote for your prowess.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that was pretty much it. Seemed like, from what I was looking at from the screen, YouTube did not flag any of those videos. So it is what it is. Yeah, you there, Neuro? It's just me and Lorp here.
It would seem so.
Damn, son. I'm trying to share the screen though. Oh well. I guess I'll practice my LARP for the Tuesday show. Flow from the dome. Y'all best believe. Yo, is Calix watching? Yo, you here, bud? Who else is here? Yeah, man, we on that techno side. Technocalypse. Holla back. Technocide Technocalypse.
And we're live, E. Michael Jones and I, this time to talk about the Great Awakening.
You see this shit on the side?
And again.
Is this the real Michael Jones?
It says chat is disabled. The fuck?
This is live right now?
I gotta refresh this page because that chat box won't go away now. All right, there we go.
And we're live.
They probably wrote weird shit in the chat or whatnot.
E. Michael Jones and I.
It was live like a minute ago.
This time to talk about the Great Awakening. I believe it's it happens in America. It's called these Great Awakenings because America does not have an official religion, and the fervor or the spiritual hunger of the American people tends is called the Great Awakening on these particular occasions. And I remember, Mike, you telling me about nearly going to Woodstock. Isn't that a kind of American Great Awakening too?
I think it is. Yeah, you could say that. It's a revival. The word is revival. It's a fixture in Protestant culture in America, and it happens periodically.
Yes. Yes, I was going to say it wouldn't happen under the Catholic Church because it's organized religion, and the Great Awakenings are not organized religion. It's the very nature of them that it's spontaneous and rather disapproved of by the established churches, or not.
You're right. It's a Great Awakening. It would be a grassroots phenomenon. From the bottom up. The United States, the Catholic Church, would have periodic meetings. They had a Eucharistic Congress in Philadelphia in 1976 when I just got back from Germany. So that was top down. The church, the Cardinal Archbishop of Philadelphia talks to the people in Rome. They decide they're going to have a Eucharistic Congress. It's a worldwide phenomenon. And so they organized it from the top down, and they had one in Chicago in 1920.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? This seems to be like a pan-religious sort of awakening, not from any particular religious type, but he's almost saying like it's sort of not related to the established order of religion, but yet and still you have this great awakening, and they gave different things as an example, like Woodstock, but now he's talking about the Catholics. So I'm interested to see where he's gonna go with this, because Eucharistic Congress, this must be somehow
Eucharistic. Eucharistic.
Right.
50 years earlier. But again, it's the same thing. You have a large number of Catholics coming together as for a public manifestation of their religious beliefs. But that's not what the Great Awakening was. The Great Awakening was something that happened spontaneously among the people of the United States of America when there was no United States of America. You had 13 colonies over here, pretty much all of which were founded by different denominations. So you had the Quakers in Philadelphia, you had the Puritans in Boston, you had the Anglicans in Virginia, you had criminals in Georgia. These were all different groups of people that didn't even belong in the same country.
Why the criminals in Georgia?
It was a penal colony. It was like Australia. My son had a friend who they met and they were living in Russia at the time. The friend flew to Australia
And when he got to the immigration official, she asked him if he had a criminal record, and he said, no. Is it still a requirement to get in? So that's what Georgia was. I'm not exactly sure what religious denomination predominated there. But what you had in common here was the fact that they're all on a new continent. They're all, in a sense, pressed up against the frontier one way or the other, or they're all pressing forward into the frontier where there is no civilization, where religious life is tenuous. Religious life is changing constantly because it's coming in contact with the frontier. And so you had people like Samuel Stoddard, who starts off in life as a Puritan. By the time he gets to the middle of Massachusetts, he's got to revise the religion. And so he comes up with the Halfway Covenant, which allowed, before, when you were a Puritan, you had to be a saint in order to be a member of the church. Well, now he dropped that requirement and liberalized it, because if he didn't, people wouldn't have come to his church and he would have been out of business. So he liberalizes, come up with the Halfway Covenant. One of the things they specified or solved was that your children could go to church, participate in the church services, even if you weren't sure they were saints. So this is the problem. When you come up with these ad hoc, crazy ideas, like somehow that you're a saint, a visible part of the invisible elect on earth, you always get into trouble. Or are my children part of the elect? Did they inherit it? The Jews obviously believe this of themselves, but they solved this problem, if you want to call it that, by saying that election is transmitted through the mother. So you inherit it. You inherit election. That's what the Jew believes. They don't call it election, but that's pretty much what it is. Well, I don't know. They think they're Jews, but they know they're not Jews. So they solve this problem. So you're constantly moving forward, constantly changing, and you've got this sense of
democracy or something like that. It's pretty interesting the way he's saying that, because like I know that like he doesn't mean like election, but it is kind of funny, like, you know, the overlap between like the political theory, the genetic theory, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. It's like I wonder if you were to like extrapolate out like the political implications of like Christianity versus Judaism versus Islam from like that perspective. That's kind of interesting. Like I never heard anybody say it exactly like that before. It's pretty interesting.
Well, this sort of to counter what we were hearing from Bruce Gore the other day, right? Because he was saying like sort of Calvinism created America. Then he read a bunch of quotes, right? But all these Puritans and Quakers, right, they seem to have drawn on some pretty strange religious influences, right? Like some of the Quakers are influenced by like weird dudes who are basically Kabbalists, right? And then like some of the Puritans, they just sort of willy-nilly just started their own sects, right? And they, and this had to do with the way they established like their colonies, right? So it's actually pretty interesting how the history is tied to like different religious sects starting the colonies.
It seems like the basic, you could say, is like Puritanism and or a lot of Protestantism is basically like Shabbos Goy on steroids. Essentially, it's like, how do we get these Shabbos to love their Shabbosary? It's like, well, we'll just tell them that they have to be elected, but we're elected genetically, or I don't know. Seems like something like that going on.
Yeah, but also like, the earliest times when you would hear about why America was started, it said like the people came here to escape religious persecution, but then also like there's other people who came here to break off from the government, right? So they were revolutionaries, right? So it's pretty interesting like how those two things either.
Also, couldn't you argue that the Puritans were kind of like a little bit persecutory themselves when they got power?
I don't know if they had a little bit of power, it might have been very short lived, right?
Well, wasn't Oliver Cromwell a Protestant though, right?
Um, yeah, like it certainly opened things up, right? Because around the same time, like, you had like Locke, and you had all these people like William Penn and all these other guys, right? So I mean, like in the 1600s, you had tons of things popping off where they were, because Cromwell, the thing with him is his relationship with Manasseh ben Israel, right? Who was like sort of like a messianic J and like a Talmudic like priest, and whatnot. So
Right, because he's like basically like the first. He's like, we need religious freedom, and the first thing I do as a Christian is bring back all the Jews or whatever, right?
right, yeah.
Insecurity building.
But then they got,
and the problem is,
then they got overthrown, and then
you,
the Catholics said no, and then they kicked, or the Lutherans or the Anglicans or whatever, right? So I don't know. I'm just saying there seems to be like some kind of dynamic there. Then they're like, okay, let's go to America.
Yeah, he kind of lays
Zionist
it out
project.
like he lays out the different sects by state. So it's pretty interesting, right? So yeah.
The problem is the Reformation. It's always the fundamental pillars of the Reformation are always going to cause trouble. And in this instance, the fundamental pillar we're talking about is sola gratia, by faith alone. I'm sorry, by grace alone. So it's sola fide, by faith alone, sola gratia, by grace alone, and sola scriptura, by scripture alone. Okay? They're all going to cause problems one way or the other, but sola gratia. The Reformers announced this at the very moment that they cut all of their followers off from the source of grace which Jesus Christ created, namely the sacraments of the Catholic Church. That is the source of grace. And one of the sacraments is confession. And confession plays an enormous role in the psychology of all of American literature, but certainly at this point, at the beginning. The man who was the great psychologist of American religion was Nathaniel Hawthorne. And the great piece of work, art that he created was the Scarlet Letter, which is about confession. It's the absence of confession. There are long passages in that, the dialogue between Dimmesdale and Chillingworth. Chillingworth is supposed to be a physician, but he's really a kind of psychoanalyst, and he's really trying to destroy Dimmesdale, which is what psychoanalyst tries to do to you oftentimes.
So, sorry, Dimmesdale is... I'm a bit lost with the names. Who's Dimmesdale again?
Okay, so we got Dimmesdale is the minister that is the main character of the Scarlet Letter. And the brilliance of this novel is that it starts on the scaffold scene. That's the very first scene. And the scaffold scene is basically Dimmesdale, who was the town minister, standing there with the magistrate, and there's this woman, Hester Prynne.
Yeah, sorry, Earth Supporter. Yeah, this is both of these people are pretty interesting, right? But yeah, E. Michael Jones is pretty like well-known author, right? Yeah, he's really well known in like alternative views of like history and all this type of stuff, but he's seen as a legitimate scholar. So yeah. So he's written tons of books like The Jewish Revolutionary Spirit. I think he wrote a book on Hegel and Fichte and some other stuff, like on Germany. And he wrote a book on like American cities. So he's written like a bunch of books. And then Claire, she's kind of interesting. We've interacted with Claire she thinks that white people should adopt Sharia law in a sort of secular way, right? Because Christianity is basically promoting liberal values instead of sort of fighting against liberalism. So she thinks if white people just adopt Sharia, right, like the Europeans, right, and they take the code from the Quran, right, and they update their law with the Sharia, then they will improve their society and protect it from spreading liberalism. Right. So she's pretty she's got a pretty interesting position. She's written a book on that. So yeah.
And Hester Prynne is pregnant, or not pregnant, she's had the child now. She was pregnant out of wedlock, obviously committed some type of sin. And because of that, she's going to have to wear the scarlet letter, the A, which says she's an adulteress. Mm-hmm. And so the depth of the psychology, here's Dimsdale. And he says to her, if you know who did this, if you know who the father is, speak now. Well, he's the father. This is the brilliance of this psychological analysis here. What you see in Dimsdale at this moment is a desire to confess. He wants it out in the open. He's suppressing this sin. He has no way of dealing with the sin. Because you broke with the Catholic Church, you can't go to confession. You're the paradigm, and now you're a colossal hypocrite leading a double life. And you can't stand it. Even here at the beginning, you're saying, you need release. I need release. I wish, what he's saying, really saying, Hester, please tell everyone that I'm the father of this child. Please do this. But he can't bring himself to do it. And that's the drama that you unleash with this. It's a brilliant, absolutely brilliant novel. He is the man who finally understood the psychology of Puritanism, certainly, but of Protestantism as well. Because you're always in a situation like you're saved. You have this emotional experience. Like, I'm saved, brother. I had this deep-seated emotional experience. And now I'm convinced I'm going to heaven. And then the next day you commit adultery. Well, now what? What now? What do you mean? So there are two options when you do this. Either adultery is not a sin, or you're not going to heaven. And so you naturally want to choose adultery is not a sin.
The situation? Mm-hmm.
Hello?
But how could such a thing have been different under Catholicism?
Because you can go to confession.
Priest, but
what do you mean other than? That's the whole point. There is no other than. You do go to confession. It does forgive. Jesus Christ does forgive sin through the priest, and your conscience is cleared, and you can go on with life. You can't do that in a Protestant church.
But you could confess, and then the cops would come for you, and that could also be the resolution.
I don't know if that's actually the position, right? The official position, right? Because I'm pretty sure that Catholics may be in communion with other people and they bless their church services, or they find continuity in them to some degree, right? And then so there's also some sort of idea where I think maybe I'm not sure if Orthodox or Protestants have some sort of confessional thing. Do that?
That is the only solution, the final solution.
Yeah, I mean, he gives a pretty dark example here because he's like, if somebody, did stuff with a kid, then all they need to do is confess, and the priest will hide it from the law officials. And if they tell the law officials, then they're held liable to sin under Catholicism. Yeah, did you hear me there, Neural?
No, I didn't. That's why I had to reset.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he says that if if somebody goes and confess to a priest that they're a PDF, right? That priest cannot go and turn them into the law. That would be a sin under Catholicism.
Well, that sounds
true?
about right.
Is that true though? Is that really a part of their thing?
From what I understand, yes. Basically,
They're
it's
protecting them.
yeah.
Yeah, because as far as they're concerned, like the sin is forgiven. So that's pretty dark, isn't it?
Well, the only way I could see that would make sense is if like they would say that, okay, we're going to actually like hold this person accountable and monitor them from within the church. Maybe I could see it, but if they're just saying there's zero consequence, then I don't think that makes any sense.
They're saying there's zero consequence and their sins are forgiven just because they confessed it.
Did he say that? I didn't hear him say that now, but I mean,
Now, let me go back a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me go back a little bit. He does say it. Just listen to what he says.
Go to confession. It does forgive. Jesus is no other than. You do go to confession. It does forgive. Jesus Christ does forgive sin through the priest, and your conscience is cleared, and you can go on with life. You can't do that in a Protestant church.
But you could confess, and then the cops would come for you, and that could also be the resolution.
You mean getting arrested by the police?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that would be the whole point.
People do. There are all kinds of people. People have a compulsion to confess. You could say you're right. There is a psychological release oftentimes if you tell anyone. It doesn't have to, but you can't have the sin forgiven. You can get some psychological relief, and the man who figured this out was Sigmund Freud, because psychoanalysis is really the Jewish form of confession, where he'll forgive your sins. He can't forgive your sins, but he'll tell you it's okay as long as you pay me money. So the great, I told you this before, but Fliess, the other quack, invited him to Berlin, and Sigmund Freud said, "I'd love to come, but I'm afraid my patients will get well in my absence." So psychoanalysis was keeping these people coming back, paying money, trying to absolve their sins by having this doctor say it's okay. Okay. I had a professor, Jewish professor in graduate school, who suddenly decided, after marrying and having 2 children, he decided he was a homosexual. And of course, that plagued, he abandoned his family. Of course, you're going to feel guilty when you do that. So he naturally went into psychoanalysis. And then he woke up one day and realized, this guy's just taking my money. So he called him up.
Oh, yeah, I heard what I heard. I mean, I don't know if they cut it out of the show. I mean, it's not post the live stream, right? So it could be that they cut it out, but I'm pretty sure I heard him say that. You know, he's going to say it down the road, that there's anti-Catholic laws, right, that are basically saying that if a priest hides the fact that somebody, did PDF activities, right, that they could be held liable by the court system for protecting, PDFs, which is a correct stance by those law courts, right? But then he says that those Catholics, if they turned in the people, then they would be considered sinners, because the confession itself forgives the sin. So it's pretty dark stuff.
And he said to a psychiatrist, I'm not coming.
Yeah, I've never looked into that deep, because I've never really been into Catholicism, but I do find it very, if that's the case, then that's a problem for sure.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Claire just left that in the video.
In anymore. And the psychiatrist said, well, let's talk about it. These are the type of pseudo confessionals that people erect when you destroy the power of, when you abandon the sacramental system of the Catholic Church. And I'm saying, I'm going to go on record here. I am the only guy in the world in the history of American literature, American studies, American whatever you want to call it, to say that the Great Awakening was about the lack of confessionals, the confessional.
Do you still go to confession, Mike?
Yes, I do.
Right. And does a priest ever rat on anyone?
Cannot do that. If it's he makes a vow that he will not do that. Now we've got laws being passed in places like Washington, I believe, where the anti-Catholic laws that make it a crime if the confessor or the person comes in and confesses that he's had sex with minors or something like that. That has to go. The priest, according to these laws, has to go to the police and inform on this guy. That priest will commit a grave sin if he violates the seal of the confessional. So he can't do that.
Did you hear that?
Yep, there it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's pretty, yeah, I mean, maybe there's something he's not saying in that, but if he's just saying, like, if he's just simply saying, like, well, nothing beyond the confession happens if somebody confesses something like that, then,
So I start recording.
you know, I think that's atrocious. I mean, if somebody's, if somebody's confessing to, PDF stuff, and then they're saying, well, the priest can basically never go to the police. I mean, that's I don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me.
That is what he said. I mean, I'll go back and play it again. It's weird.
Yeah, I was a little distracted. People were talking to me, so let's listen to that one more time.
Yeah.
Anyone? Does a priest ever rat on anyone?
Cannot do that. If it's he makes a vow that he will not do that. Now we've got laws being passed in places like Washington, I believe, where the anti-Catholic laws that make it a crime if the confessor or the person comes in and confesses that he's had sex with minors or something like that. That has to go. The priest, according to these laws, has to go to the police and inform on this guy. That priest will commit a grave sin if he violates the seal of the confessional. So he can't do that. So that's called the seal of the confessional.
Okay, yeah,
the priest
that's
can
very
never
clear.
say anything
Yeah. So
about any particular person.
Okay, yeah, he's made it crystal clear. Yeah, so he's saying they can never, ever, ever rat on anybody for any reason at any point.
Boy, it's starting to remind me of Blackheart from Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I've sinned a lot.
Well, see, no, well, here's the thing is, like, so that means if somebody's in the church or part of, like, the Freemasons or some sort of organization subverting the church, they can never rat them out to anybody because they confessed it. So therefore, I mean, that makes no fucking sense. I mean, right? Like, I mean,
Welcome to corruption.
I mean, that's the question that should be asked. So, like, if somebody's, so let's put aside like sins of the flesh. What if somebody's directly subverting the church and they're a Satanist or like, worshiping Satan, and they're in this Catholic church to, subvert it and turn everybody evil or something. I mean, like, right? Like, I mean, is he saying that nothing can be done in that case either, or what? I mean, nothing can be done.
It sounds like they pick and choose which sin they want to chastise and crucify. And it seems like diddling kids is one of those sins.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't even imagine like how this is even a real. Is this? I mean, I gotta ask Unseen about that too. Like, is that something in the Orthodox Church too, where nobody can ever say anything about
I straight up
some
asked
grievous sin?
I straight up asked him.
Like, oh, I murdered 600.
Yeah, I sent him a question.
Or whatever. It's like then nothing happens.
Well, remember, that's a trope that they put in a lot of movies where, like, someone does something bad and they go to, like, the, Catholic confessional and, oh, Father, I did this. Oh, it's okay. And, the person walks out of the church feeling liberated, but they're, like, still a piece of shit. So, I mean, they put that trope in a lot of movies. And, I mean, to be honest, if you probably went to some high-end Catholic churches, it probably really is like that. I mean, when was the last time you went into a very like high-end old cathedral like Catholic church? You know, one that's been around for like a good few hundred years or something. I mean, you can't imagine the levels of corruption that doesn't just go from, because they want to give you this idea that there's a separation of church and state, but church and state have been completely intertwined for a long time now, and they just make you think that, you know, I mean, why do you think they always have politicians or people doing things at churches? Think about that for a second. How many famous politicians or something have you seen, or like in movies, they have them standing in front of old cathedral-like looking churches? Oh, most of them are Catholic churches. So, I mean, let's just face it here, like the Vatican and other places, a lot of these places get away with untellable amount of actual sin while they chastise the masses for what they do. So, you know, he basically put it right out there in the open that, you know,
well, I mean, he's basically saying, like, in a sense, like, the Catholic Church is like Sabbatean and Frankist almost, like, from my point of view. I mean, if he's saying it like that, it's like, okay, so I mean, unless there's some other like internal thing where they're like, we take care of our own, and they like disappear the guy and drop him in a vat of acid or something. I mean, maybe they do that, but I mean, he's not saying that. So,
I mean, just from my religious perspective, I mean, I understand the perspective behind it, but for me personally, like, I still think that Jesus would want me to turn in a mass murderer to the authorities. So, you know, to me, it's just a perversion of what the original whatever is supposed to be of the teachings. And, you know, all these establishments have just found ways to pervert it. That's why, let's face it, how many, you know, priests get, you know, sexual favors from choir boys and, you know, turn around and got the, you know, gall to praise God or pray to the masses while they're doing it. So, I mean, this shit's just, I'll just put it this way, you know, man will reap what they sow, and, you know, God sees everything. So these people think that everything that they do in the dark won't be seen by the light, but buddy boy, it's going to be on you like white on rice. So everything's mere speculation at this point. I mean, you don't really know what these people do behind closed doors, but we all know that there's abuse and, you know, religious establishments and churches and shit. I mean, even to the few that I've been through locally in the places where I lived, like, people were ignorant to the shit that was going on even in them churches. So, I mean, if a small little redneck backwater church can have a preacher who basically molests his younger female audience with his eyes, then, you know, imagine what's going on in places where, you know, they get, you know, thousands of dollars, you know, probably a day in charity, allegedly, and donations and shekels, and, you know, probably one of the largest, you know, proprietors of the trafficking itself, allegedly
Yeah,
for the algorithm.
This is actually a funny comment down here. People should confess to having feelings for the priest's wife just to test. I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah, this is funny. I mean,
well, it's okay because Elon Musk said that we're going to probably meet aliens, so it's okay. Oh, you didn't hear about that? Elon Musk said we may meet aliens. Elon Musk has been listening to me, Neurojack. He heard where I said that UFO technology can't be hidden no more.
I thought he said that we would beat our meat to aliens, but
yeah, we probably will. I'm just looking at the video of him talking up here at the Grok AI thing, and he just looks. We're so fucking screwed. My heart goes out to you. Anyway, but did y'all see where the sky turned pink? Didn't y'all like that? Didn't y'all like when everything turned pink over there? And then I complained on social media. I said, why hasn't it been covered by any major news outlet? And the next thing you know, Daily Dose of Internet does it 47 minutes ago. It's okay. It's normal.
What are you talking about turning pink?
I think it's in Birmingham or some shit. I don't know. But anywhere, somewhere over there, it
Well,
turned
when I was a
extremely
kid,
pink.
when I was a kid, and before it snowed, it used to turn pink.
Well, this is like pink, like Pepto Bismol pink, everything pink.
Really? I gotta
Yeah.
look that up. I never seen that.
I'm
Yeah, when I
just
was a
saying.
kid, when we were about to have a blizzard, the sky would turn totally pink, and then it would just like dump like 3
Oh,
feet of
well.
snow.
Everything is strange.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was the snow bomb going off or something. I don't know, but yeah, I gotta ask some Orthodox guys about that. I've never heard that. I've never heard that expressed openly like this. I've never heard any Christian ever openly say like, yeah, there's zero consequence for whatever. I don't think I've ever heard that before in my life.
And look, we talked about the Truman Show and how it was a Gnostic allegory, and this guy goes and does it and gets 85,000 views. Getting paid by the system.
Well, we just got to figure out. We just have to find some like agency that's gonna like bot our shit up, and then I think here's the thing: is like if we had like 50 people that all went and liked each other's stuff and commented on each other's stuff, like we might be able to catch an actual algorithm that way too.
Well, from what I've heard,
if we can't, then
from what I
there's
heard,
no
YouTube,
there's no chance.
something might actually explain what's been going on with some of our views. YouTube is doing something weird behind the scenes with terms of service or something with the algorithms. And a majority of people who push like nicer, good content, their views are like being hidden in the algorithm, while people who are like pushing the more like current world chaos kind of like content is being promoted in the system. So it's kind of funny that that video popped up in my algorithm 2 days ago, right around the time that everyone, both of y'all especially, were having viewing issues. And even me, even my stuff has dropped in views. So, you know, just saying, like, they're definitely fighting our content, that's for sure. That I know for sure. Unless you're putting a lot of money into your content, you're willing to pay like $200 to push yourself through the algorithm, we're probably not hitting past many of the people
I'm just
who
trying to figure
already
out how to
view
get
us.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get monetized, because like I keep checking my shit, and then every time I check it, it's like, oh, you didn't meet this qualification, didn't meet that qualification. I'm like, dude, I had like crazy watch hours last year, so to say that I don't meet any qualifications, like, okay, maybe if I get a strike, then that resets the thing. But I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense, because you can get a strike for fucking almost anything. So it's like you're telling me like, I don't know. It's just pretty weird. It's like the hurdles must be insane to get through to fucking get monetized. Like I don't even want to get monetized. It's just kind of weird. It's like all the fucking effort you put in, you can't even do it. It's like, what
Well,
the fuck?
literally, I think they've made it so you have to pay services to get your channel monetized.
Yeah, you had to have, from what I've understood from the nice guys who were trying, because I was trying to really get into the Star Wars stuff, like making the actual generations, not just the stupid shit. And that guy told me, he's like, if you want to get anywhere near the level I am, you will have to have money to get what I'm doing, to get paid what I'm doing. And he's rich, and he's getting paid to do them fucking. He stole my goddamn idea. He fucking stole Emperor Skywalker. I don't care what the motherfucker claims. I fucking posted one of my fucking PSYOP videos in his fucking chat one day. Next thing you know, oh, what did he come out with? Emperor Skywalker standing there. What if Anakin never burned on Mustafar? And next thing you know, fucking 300, 400,000 views within, 1 to 2 days. So again, they whoever these people are, they probably already had family or knew people who like were in the industry, and then by the time that they got old enough to get into it, their parents already had the money to throw, and already like these people with the VR systems. You're not going to convince me someone at 18 years old is convincing over $20,000 worth of equipment. No, there's no way. No.
Well, next time you talk to Pillater, you should ask him, because Lucasfilm tried to hire him to make Star Wars videos. And but they gave him such a weird contract that he's like, oh hell no! Like they basically said like you have to jump through so many hoops, you have to pay a certain amount of money, and then like they'll approve you, and then you have to once you're in, but like you're not allowed to do like so much shit. Like you just have to
Nope.
jump through like
That's
so
why
many
I had to
fucking
train.
hoops. you
That's
know?
why I had to change. I found out real quick they were going to come after me. Disney was probably about to try to slap me with a lawsuit. So, rest in peace, Emperor Lorp. I mean, I'll still be Lorp, but
but
Emperor
that's
Skywalker.
interesting. So, here's the thing. Here's what I want to do. If you guys find out what services it is, let me know what it is. I want to find out. I want to learn about this. Like, if there's a service that's doing this, please send that to me so I can look into that. And what I think we should do is we should hit a goal, and we try to get like Machine or whoever wants to do it. We get one channel monetized this way, especially if it's like not super crazy expensive. Let's just get one channel monetized and then try to learn how they're doing that. And then I don't know. I mean, I think that I want to learn how that's working, right? If at least for the fact that maybe we can expose it or something like that, because yeah, that's insane. Like I don't know. I kind of figured something like that, but I've never seen like the companies. I've never been able to find the companies that get that done for you. So if you guys ever find the companies that are doing
He wouldn't tell me, but from what I
they work
understand,
with the people in the Discord with the Juiceable thing, right? And just test out if we can get that running, right, on a different channel, right? So that might be the option.
Yeah, well, definitely. If anybody who does that as a service, like I want to talk to them because I want to know what does it really require, like how much money, how much time, how much effort. Because like we've been doing this for a while now, and like, dude, with all the effort, especially that you put in, it's like, and I don't want. I'm not saying to get monetized, but it's like just to see like how does it work, you know?
Yeah, I'm talking about like we save our channels and we just go as different fruit characters or different drugs. Like maybe like a coffee pot, a weed leaf, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And we can just like basically just have a different show, right? Now that we know all these people, they can make cartoon graphics for us, right? And then we can just proceed with original, backgrounds and original avatars, right? So nothing is, like copyrighted, and we'll just do a show where from the beginning to end we talk and like react to things that is like totally like legitimate the whole time, and it's only like an hour long or something like that, short, right? And then we get like a payment service attached to it, that somebody has built, like the Streamlabs thing or like the Andrew Wilson thing.
Yeah, the Dono chat. I could probably build one of those, or I'm sure somebody else we know could build something like that for sure. Like
I'm just saying, the old TV show, whatever, that had the robots and the dude that would sit like they were in the movie theater in the shadows, and they would sit in front of the screen whenever they were watching something.
Mystery Science Theater, or whatever. Yeah, that'd be pretty
shit
sick,
would be hilarious.
Yeah, so we're gonna have like basically like try that on the Juiceable to have like that with the Dono chat set up, and then maybe we can start doing it from there, right?
Yeah, that'd be sick. I mean, and then we could do like movie reviews or whatever whatever it is. I don't know, but just
because the
make
thing
it
is,
like a legit thing.
Yeah, because then we could just continue doing our channels whatever we want. Just like
I agree with. I totally agree. I think we should like just have our independent channels that are just doing whatever.
Like, we get to say what we're like scared of getting banned because we just say whatever we want, right? And then we actually have this other thing, where it's like that we're building up,
Right, and it becomes like a platform. Yeah, I mean, I'm all down for that because like it's just ridiculous. For me, it's like I really truly thought that like there's some way to just organically grow a YouTube, and I mean maybe there is, but I've never seen any way that's possible. I mean, I don't know.
I can tell you, I've organically grown my YouTube, and 204. No, wait, I had 208, and then I lost all them subscribers, and then I stayed at like 190. So for someone who's never paid and has actually I've never like dropped my videos anywhere. All the stuff I've ever uploaded, people just found me. So, I mean, that's about as natural as it's going to get if you're not pushing out some type of content. If you're, not in the next new thing, like video games or something.
But I feel like if you do like a script or like, okay, like I see like a lot of these girls, for example, I mean, I think the girls are the easiest one because like I think you pretty much put a pretty girl up, like she's gonna get more likes.
Yes, that's
no matter
right.
what.
You want to know why I'm not
You
a
know?
famous streamer compared to most uwu girls? Is because I don't have gigantic tits for you to stare at while I wear cat-shaped headphones. Yeah, uwu.
Right. So that's number one. But number two, like if you notice, like almost all the successful channels, they do like a format. So it's like, oh, you know, like pattern pattern interruption, rage bait, you know, something sexualized.
OnlyFans self-promotion.
Yeah, well, that's like 90% of fucking. Well, not 90. I don't want to exaggerate. That's like 30% of fucking Instagram right now. So yeah, it's like it's crazy, man. Like it's so. Well, I listened to just a few seconds of the Stefan Molyneux reviewing Pearl at that. What's that thing called? Machine, that debate channel you're telling me about. The what's that called?
Spit on that thing.
Whatever that new debate channel essentially is or whatever, and they were saying, and they said a statistic, it's like 5 to 10% of women under like 40 or something, or like
Wait, what are you talking about?
what's the Stefan Molyneux, what was he reviewing, what's that
Oh
show
yeah,
called?
World War Debate.
World War Debate. Okay, yeah, so
that's pretty good.
Which is so gay though, but
yeah, I think it's Anna Kasparian versus some other loser, right?
Well, I know it's Pearl, and then so Pearl was
Pearl
saying something
Davis,
like,
yeah.
yeah, so Pearl was up there saying like 5 to 10% of all women in America or in the West or something like that are doing OnlyFans right now, and I was like, wow, that's a huge number.
Wait,
You know?
what?
She said 5 to 10% of all women are doing OnlyFans or something similar.
I don't know. I think that's like just like
That might be I ain't gonna lie, that's probably a little inflated.
Well, but my point is that they're basically like.
But I don't doubt it. I'm not gonna lie. Probably just in my town alone, a lot of the girls mentally, they probably would do it just from what you see walk around on nightclub night. So I don't know.
I mean, if you go to AI and ask it how many accounts are on OnlyFans, you could probably probably very easily just refute that statistic.
True that.
You just like look up what percentage of women are in the U.S. and how many accounts there are.
Right. Well, if that's the case, then why would they? I mean, I guess that's the whole point, is they're just trying to like rage bait men to be all pissed off, and I don't know. It's kind of funny because I mean, it's not really funny, but it's
They're
kind
probably
of.
trying to get them to go on OnlyFans because they're like trying to find like their neighbor's like daughter. Or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I'm not gonna. Let me just say it like this: if you go look at the accounts that people that may be involved in that endeavor, let's say, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get sued. But they're tied to some, let's say, adult industry advocacy groups,
and so yeah, I would say that. It would not surprise me for sure. So like I think you could actually make a very strong case that you're right. Like not beyond conjecture. Right. I think you could make like a strong case beyond conjecture that that's probably what they're doing. Right. So like they're saying we're really against this whole OnlyFans thing, but it is pretty normal now. So I mean, and you wait, young man, you want to wait to get married, right? Well, between now and when you somehow in the future get married to a trad wife who's been in the Orthodox or Catholic Church for 30 years, you know, somewhere between now and then, like you're gonna have to goon, so you know, you might as well go to OnlyFans.
Well, I mean, that probably coincides with the amount of alleged female teachers coming out with messing with students. So, I mean, while I don't want to push in too much into the theory, let's just face it. I mean, the detrimental effects that most porn and OnlyFans culture and stuff like that, and Instagram kind of culture has kind of pushed, and even then TikTok trends for a while. Remember, they were doing them them trends with the red filter. Almost, some of them were even doing it naked, thinking that people who didn't have a way to remove the filters and brighten it up and could see your bits and pieces. So, I mean, I'm not saying that while everyone is involved with that mentality, because obviously, like someone like my wife, your wife, and other people's wives usually would like be abhorrent to that type of behavior. But I mean, a younger generation, I mean, Yeah, I mean,
Well, from my little bit of time on TikTok, they're definitely pushing like a very extremely sexualized
Yep,
culture.
same thing on Facebook.
Beyond anything that we've ever witnessed when we were younger, right? Like it almost makes like Baywatch or Carmen Electra or even Playboy look like really innocent comparatively, because it's really pushing a very unique style of I saw this video today. I put it on my YouTube. I re-edited it, but it's this woman saying like, well, Marxist feminists have opposing views on sex workers, but we can all agree that sex workers should never be shamed because they're women and we need to have solidarity with other women. It's like, what the fuck? It's like you're literally saying basically like there's nothing wrong with women like selling their body because that's just what we have to do in a capitalist system. It's like, okay, but it's like if you're saying that like marriage is really evil but sex work's not, it's like, what the fuck? I don't know. It's like they're pushing simultaneously marriage is really bad for women should never get married, and then on the other end sex work's, maybe not ideal, but it's it's definitely not a bad thing essentially. And it's like, okay. Like, I don't know, like that to me is like seems totally contradictory. But
while you have an entire fucking space quadrant completely dedicated to promoting pedophilia on Facebook and other social medias. Welcome to the PSYOP, my friend, where everyone and no one is an agent.
Well, I mean, yeah, and like every discussion around this issue is like on the negative side, meaning like, okay, if you look on TikTok, there's a bunch of panels that are open every day, and the panels are like, should someone who's 50 years old date somebody who's 18, or somebody who's 30 and 18, or 25 and 18, or 22 and 18? It's like, it's literally like, just basically like, basically it's trying to imply that like all men are pedophiles, all men are rapists, all men are whatever, and simultaneously you should sexualize yourself to get money from men. It's like, okay. Like it's I don't know.
Think it's to me is to help devolve people more into the debauchery. The more that we can desensitize people to grape and beheadings and rip apartings, the less that people will bat an eye when it's happening in front of them.
But it seems like it's just I don't want to say normal people, but everyday people that are participating. So I saw one of these panels and I went up and asked. I was like, so if somebody's I was like, here's the thing, is like, if somebody's 30 and the girl's like 18, 19, 20, and they get married and have a family together and stay together for the rest of their life, you have a problem with that? And they said, yes. And I was like, okay. Now it's like, if an 18, 19 or 20-year-old woman goes and like decides to sleep with 30 guys over the course of 2 years, do you think that's a problem? They said, no, absolutely not. That's her choice. And I was like, okay, but is it also not her choice to like marry somebody who's older and get married and do all this? And they're like, well, it's her choice, but she's being exploited by the man, so that's bad. I was like, but the people who are sleeping with her and never seeing her again are not exploiting her? And they're like, no, that's her choice. And I'm like, okay. Like, it's like it.
I can only imagine who you're talking about.
No, but this is literally like this is what they're promoting to. And again, I saw this great quote by Stefan Molyneux. Let me actually read it to you, and because I actually wanted to ask Machine about this. And you as well, Lorp, and a couple of other people. But let me see if I have this quote right here. Let's see. I thought this was a really good quote. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. In the modern world, people are not quote unquote victims of propaganda any more than they are quote unquote victims of fat and sugar. Better information is a click away. They choose the easy route, the lazy route. No forgiveness, no excuses. So what would you say about that?
I would say that sounds about fucking right. Why would I want to go out there and build a log cabin with my own hands if I can just pay an illegal immigrant to do it for me for cheaper? Yes.
There you go. Machine, what do you think of that quote?
I'm sorry, read it again.
Okay. This is from Stefan Molyneux. In the modern world, people are not quote unquote victims of propaganda any more than they are quote unquote victims of fat and sugar. Better information is a click away. They choose the easy route. The lazy route, no forgiveness and no excuses.
Yeah, it's totally false.
Oh.
All
I
right,
aim to
now
demonstrate that. Yeah, I aim to demonstrate on my show that that's totally a false statement. That the information is controlled from the top down. That there's stuff that they're hiding from you.
well, even would you say
There's
that
no
even
way. That's not possible.
but would you say that even the how they distribute it is a part of the deception, not necessarily that the information itself is not
Oh
available?
yeah. Yeah, most people can't produce the sources. They can't reproduce the sources of the information. It's just that simple.
So, do you think that someone like Stefan Molyneux, and again, this is assumptions, but if you were to debate him on this topic, which I would love to see, by the way, would you try to trap him in the sense where he was forced to answer the question of like, well, have you considered that the how is just as important of the what?
Okay,
If that makes any sense.
I mean, I would explain the mechanics of propaganda, right? Like I'd use Ellul, I'd use Marshall McLuhan, right, and then I'd just proceed further with those critiques, and I'd say, well, are you saying these critiques are totally illegitimate?
I wonder if we could like rage bait someone like Stefan or some of these people like internet personalities into like debating on some channel or something.
I don't know.
Like,
I've tried
that would be
before, and
sick,
they
honestly.
seem to ignore the name "The Machine Lies." I'll just put that out there.
Well, no, but I'm saying like what like I mean if we just do I mean I don't know. I've been really thinking about making a new Twitter simply for the fact of like rage baiting people and trying to get them to say, well, let's debate and then get them onto a debate show or something like that. I think that would be kind of, if we could do it in a coordinated fashion, that would be really sick, actually. But I don't know that because someone like Stefan Molyneux, like he was like when he started reviewing that thing. Actually, if you want, could we review a little bit of that? You don't have to. I know you got to go soon, probably. So, but I wanted you to see what he says at the beginning of that.
In which one?
The Stefan Molyneux like review of the Pearl debate or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to watch some of that. Yeah.
Well, no, I just want you to see like how he introduces the thing, because like you could tell that he like wants to get into debating or something, and or back into it because he's like, oh well, I was a master debater, and he he looks like Captain Picard. I think that's why I like Stefan. He just looks like a Stefan. I mean, he looks like a Captain Picard basically.
Yeah, he reminds me of like one of my cousins that like he put like hot dogs in the microwave, and then he put like hot sauce on the on like the hot dogs, and he would just put them in the microwave and just eat it with a fork. And I remember him doing this because like these hot dogs would start whistling in the microwave.
Hear the pig squeal.
Pigs in a blanket.
Sure,
yeah, that's pretty weird.
Boy.
That's pretty weird. I don't think I have known people that put hot dogs in my own. I know people in my own family.
Like one of
who's
those
done that.
guys. Like he's wearing like one of those like shirts. You know, like t-shirt. He looks like a weird dude for sure.
Yeah, he is. He is a weird dude for sure.
Weird looking dude for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Stefan Molyneux is one of these people that like I like him for like a couple reasons, but one of the main reasons I like him is like if you bring him up in any circle of like intellectual stuff, he is one of the most divisive people if you drop his name. It's so weird. Like people get so pissed when you drop his name.
Yeah, have you seen that Slavoj Zizek? That guy?
Yes, I hate that guy. Yes.
He's a lot like that guy. Like he looks weird. He's very hard to listen to because he has like this weird tick where he like sniffs through one of his nostrils like every 5 words. It's kind of weird. But yeah.
Yeah. No, but Stefan. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to defend Stefan, but I do think Stefan's way better than Zizek, because Zizek is like I definitely could believe that Zizek has like done some bad shit in his life for sure. Like I get a very bad feeling about that guy.
Yeah, he might have been on the Epstein plane or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, and I don't want to defame the guy or something, but like he just gives me a really bad vibe, and especially for the fact that like I said, like Pillager sent me a video of him, and I watched like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, this guy is definitely a crypto Trotskyist, and he's like, oh yeah, that's what a lot of people say, and I was like, oh really? I was like, okay, so I'm not just like perceiving that out of my bullshit. I'm not just like bullshitting my way through it. Like, okay, there is something there because like he just sounded so dishonest and like with what he was saying, and apparently that's a big thing. Like he kind of like halfway like admits that he's like a Trotskyist, but he's like saying he's against it, but he's like, well, the only way to beat the Trotskyist is to be a Trotskyist, and it's like, okay, like, all right. So I gotta have my arsenal of like bombs to throw in. It's like mention Zizek, mention Trotsky, mention Stefan Molyneux. I need a few more. Like just like I need like a list of like 10 people. Like whenever I go into a debate, I just mention these like 10 people and until somebody like reacts. I saw this girl on Instagram, and she's like promoting. I sent the link in the back for Twitter, by the way. But I'm not sure if he might not have it on YouTube because it might be too controversial. But let's see.
Call-in show.
Yeah, he's been doing call-in shows for like 15 years, so he does them all the time.
He's only got 3,000 subscribers. So did he get canceled?
Yeah, he just got his YouTube back after like 10 years or something. So he's on Twitter. So you have to look at it on Twitter because I think that's the only place you're gonna be able to find his stuff. Now I sent you the link in the back.
Yeah, it's gone here.
Yeah, I put it in the back chat for you. But yeah, I want a list of like like figures to name to troll in any debate. So Trotsky, Stefan Molyneux, Zizek, and I don't know. I got to think of some other ones. I guess the people that like for like intellectuals, right? Maybe I should name like Anton LaVey might be one.
Anton LaGay.
That's right. So you drop name. I'm just trying to think of like people you can name drop that would like rage bait somebody, but like in an intellectual setting, right? So, like this. Oh yeah, this Asian girl was on Instagram yesterday, and she's like talking about like, Sator. Like what's the guy's name? Like something Sauter, Sartre. And she's like, oh, he's the grandfather of
Sartre.
Yeah. And there's a lot of weird accounts that are like using his name now for some reason. Like there's a bunch of people dropping like Sartre quotes for whatever. I don't know why, but
yeah, it's very anglicized. But if in French it's like Sartre or something.
Yeah, exactly. But why is everybody like why would you think everybody's suddenly quoting Sartre or whatever? And you could share your screen if you can or want to. If not, I might be able to pull up my screen and do it actually.
And he's super like gay, like
existentialism,
crybaby, cuck. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just weird. Like why? Like everybody's like it's like a Gen Z thing. It's like anybody under 24 or 25, they're like, oh, Sartre is like the end all be all of like philosophy, bro.
Yeah, I think like Sartre and like Camus, I think some of that stuff's for wimps, honestly. It's like, oh, I'm gonna push this rock up the hill. It's like, just shut the fuck up, dude.
Well, and what I wrote as a comment, I was like, what about Girard or Plantinga or I can't remember. I think I said Zizek or something. I just like pulled some random names out of my ass, and they're like, I said Lacan. I was like, what about Lacan or Girard? And she was like, oh, I don't know. I haven't really looked into them. Maybe I'll do some research. But like the amount of engagement that these like random philosophy posts are getting, I'm like, there's no way it's real. Like 15,000 likes on a philosophy page about a couple random quotes from Sartre or whatever.
The guys that are like pushing that type of stuff, like on YouTube, like postmodernism or like, existentialism or like Nietzsche or something like that, they're getting paid.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking like, there's no fucking way to do it.
Yeah,
And
they're getting
and
paid. They're totally set up their pogo operations to get people to like adopt like nihilistic viewpoints and shit. It is what it is.
but see, that's the thing is like, that's why this is why it's so frustrating to me. Is like, if there's so much even inorganic, uh, you know, traction around the topic of philosophy, it shouldn't be that hard to figure out some way. Even if it involves like dumping money into it, like there should be some way to like hijack that and like twist it back towards, you know, something like maybe like invite, somehow, get a hold of their agents or whatever and say, hey, like let's do a debate on like Sartre versus I don't know, pick some other retarded philosopher person, and then just inject your philosophy into the whole debate or whatever, or anti-philosophy perhaps. I don't know. That's just my idea. I figure there must be
I
some
mean,
way to do that.
that's assuming that if these people aren't so big that it's not like what they claim about presidents and stuff that you gotta
Let's see
write
here.
get a
How much
script
time
before
before you
they
got to
let
go,
you
Michelle?
talk.
Let's see, because I'll if we still got
Yeah, I
some
can
time.
open that up. Yeah, I got like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
All right, cool. But
30 minutes.
yo. Let me. I'll pull it up so that way when you got to go, you can just go, and I'll keep this burning as long as possible.
All right.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this thing on.
Stefan Molyneux.
Hello, this is Stefan
Why is he
Molyneux from
reviewing
Freedom
this?
Radio.
Wait, what?
No, I was just doing an impression of Stefan. Like, hello, Stefan Molyneux from Freedom Radio.
Yeah, but why is he like
Well,
reviewing this trash?
that's why I wanted to see, because I heard him do the intro, and I think there's something.
It's goy slop.
Well, I know why actually. So here's the reason why. Because Pearl Davis is styling herself as a men's rights advocate.
Yeah, but
and
she's
and
got
that's
no
how,
like hang time. Right?
and that's what he's tried to style himself as when he first started. So like he was kind of known as like one of the primary men's rights advocates in the proto alt-right, right? And so I would say that that's probably why he's interested, is because, and I think he kind of laments the fact that he's kind of been cut out of the discourse. If I had to guess, I mean, why is my thing not working here?
Well, that guy did a hit piece on him on the Joe Rogan, where he said his wife has like a cult where she tells people to like leave her family, like leave their family and shit. So yeah, some weird shit about that. Yeah, I don't know if you're there. If you want me to share it, I can. Oh shit.
What you want there, Jack? What the fuck we doing?
And like all of a sudden the witches come back. And then watch him say he didn't even turn it on. I honestly think when he breaks out of the studio, there's like witches with the pentagram. It's kind of weird. So yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Okay, sorry, I had to jump on the computer. So I'm gonna bring up the Stefan Molyneux shiznit for a second, and then maybe some other shit. Can you hear me? Okay, semi clearly.
Yeah, did you put these witches in the background?
I think it happened. I think I realized like it switches to whatever the default I had on the computer was. I guess so. I guess that's what's going on. But I didn't manually do it, so it must have happened when I clicked on the desktop version of, this shiznit. All right, let me share this. Let me share this Stefan Molyneux shit. Stefan Molyneux. Turn me into a Stefan Molyneux. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can find this shit. Yeah, he has some funny takes though. Like I just like his trolling. Yeah, he said some funny things yesterday, or recently, I guess. Let's see here. Find this. Oh my god. Man.
Yeah, I don't like the way that Anna lady debates. It's just really queefy.
What? Oh, Anna Kasparian?
Yeah, it's really queefy, but like the other lady is just as like bad. So it's literally like a queef sandwich.
Oh, you listen to some of it?
No, I have not listened to any of it, but I could predict that it'll be terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it is too. I'm just more interested in Stefan's reaction to it more than I am. Like to me, the fact that they have Pearl Davis as like a serious commentator on the stuff is, honestly absurd to me. I mean, she's like okay to look at somewhat, but not really. I mean, she looks bizarre in a lot of ways. But she is a redhead, so I got to give her a little credit. She's one of our fellow soulless gingers. So. All right, let's see if I got this here. All right, can you guys see this now? You can't see this. Right?
No.
All right, hold on. Let's see here. Oh, okay. I didn't share it to screen. My bad. All right, cool. All right, let's go back. Let's hear. I just wanted you to hear how he introduces this thing. I'll just increase the speed a little bit. I'm definitely not interested in watching this whole thing.
Hi, everybody. Stefan Molyneux from Freedom. Hope you're doing well. So, as you may or may not know, I was kind of a championish debater back in the day. And I'm going to have a look at this debate at Word War Debate. They do these fantastic debates in Atlantic City. I'll be out there March 28th, 2026. I hope you will join me there. It's going to be very cool and exciting. And I promise to bring the fire. And so Anna Kasparian and Pearl Davis were debating.
So he's promoting.
And I haven't watched this debate. I'm going to just dive in and we're going to have a look at some of the.
So he's cross-promoting his own appearance here. Right?
Yeah. I missed that when I watched this last night, so I guess he's going to be there. So,
right.
Interesting. So that's to me that's very curious because it's like, okay, Sam Tripoli of all people is like the person who started this thing. I mean, to me, that's just bizarre. I mean, I've never ever really watched Sam Tripoli about anything, conspiracy or otherwise. So I'm not sure why he would be the headliner of this whole thing, but
Yeah, they're gonna turn it into like how they have like fake moderators that bet on, like, that people pay to like bet on the victory of the thing. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is just like another gambling operation where they're like, okay, let's wash our money with some other bullshit.
Yeah, like the sports, so.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. All right, let's see what he says here. And I'm going to turn off this in a minute. I just wanted to get a few minutes of this.
The opening statements and how the reasoning and articulation and arguments are set up and unpack them a little bit. And again, these are both very intelligent and accomplished women. I'm sure they're both making great points. But let's dive in. This is going to be at 1.25 speed because I just can't listen to things at normal speed. And so we're going to dive in. Word War Debate, wordwardebate.com. You should check it out and join me there March 28th. And I'm also doing a VIP meet and greet. So I'd love to see you. I hope to see you there. And let's go straight into this debate on feminism.
In a May 2024 appearance on Tim Pool's Culture War podcast, my opponent, Pearl Davis, declared that women aren't really doing much. We're not having kids. We're not really contributing to the economy when you look at output. In fact, she uses this ridiculous assertion to argue that women should not have the right to vote. While it's true the birth rate has declined, and we'll revisit that in a bit, women account for 47% of the American workforce.
All right. So that is the first logical flipperoo. So I think, I don't want to speak for Pearl, of course, but when she's talking output, she's not talking about jobs like HR or, these sort of various government functional jobs that a lot of women do, right? Women work a lot for the government. She's talking about material productive output, usually in terms of manufacturing and stuff like that. So saying that women don't produce much in terms of output when she's mostly looking at manufacturing, and then saying, well, but women are part of the workforce, almost half the workforce and so on, is apples to oranges. So you could hire a guy in your backyard to dig a hole and fill up the hole over and over and over again. Completely pointless exercise. You could pay him $100 an hour and that would add to the GDP, but is it adding to actual productive output, right? So that is a change, right? Saying, well, what do you mean this guy's not producing anything? Look at the income he's generating. It's like, but that's not the same as output. A birth rate going down is important because one of the ways that women contribute to the economy is having children so that there are future workers, right? So if women are in the workforce consuming a bunch of often tax dollars and so on, which we'll get to more in a second, and doing a lot of not essential jobs or jobs mandated by the government, by government regulations and quota systems and requirements and other various forms of compulsions, then they're not having children. And so maybe the women are making some economic output in the here and now, but people make $1 million to $1.5 million over the course of their lifetime. So if a woman goes from having 4 children to having 1 child, right, then she's making some money. Let's say she makes $1 million in the here and now, but by having 3 fewer children, that's $4.5 million that are taken away from the economy in the future. And the answer for that, of course, tends to be endless immigration, but a lot of the immigrants are net economic negatives on the economy as a whole. So I just wanted to sort of point that out at the beginning.
The Council of Economic Advisors found that women have contributed a substantial portion of the U.S. economic growth since 1970, which wouldn't have been made possible without the feminist movement.
Well, it's not the feminist movement, it's the government. It's the government saying you have to hire women that gets a lot of women hired. And this is just a sort of basic biological fact. In the past, women generally weren't hired when they were young, and especially when they were married, because they started having children. So baby boom, you had 3, 4, 5 kids a family, and women generally aren't working because they're home raising the kids, running the community, doing all of that wonderful work that women do. So it's not feminism directly. It's feminism using its power and influence on the state to force employers to hire women. That has caused the rise in female employment, which is, there are lots of wonderful, remarkable, amazing female entrepreneurs. But, I'm talking on the whole, on average. So it's not feminism that caused men to hire women. It is, obviously talented women out there and some women are great in the economy, but as a whole, in general, it's the government that make people hire women. So it's not feminism, it's state power, and feminism's influence on state power is not unimportant. Unimportant, of course, but that is a reality now. There's something else.
1970.
Oh, yeah. And so she's saying that there's been a productivity rise or an economic growth since 1970. And my rebuttal to that would be no, there hasn't. Wages have been flat in real terms since the 1970s. Because that's just basic economics, right? When you bring half the population into the workforce, it simply drives down wages for everyone else. I don't know that that's hugely complicated, right? If you're going to say, well, now we got to hire a whole bunch of women, then male wages simply going to go down. So no, there's not been big economic growth There have been growth in technology and so on, but it's not been big economic growth since the 1970s. And part of that, of course, is going off the gold standard under Nixon, and part of that is all of this stuff where raw meritocracy is not pursued anymore, but
Yeah, I know the Appalachian Gorilla is going to have a take on this too, so I figure I'd pause.
Oh,
right there.
100%, man. Listen, like we ran out of like a lot of that like easy, low hanging fruit shit. You know what I mean? Back in like the 1970s and 80s, like just like the really easy, you know what I mean, like inventions and shit, just, you know what I mean, kind of evaporated. Like we had like computerization, right, that helped with productivity, but in the end of the day, like we just didn't have like that, you know what I mean, that easy, basic ass shit where, you know, we went from in the 1920s, like 10% of the population having a refrigerator to 90% in 1950. That stopped existing.
Yeah, and it's just, well, I'm surprised he didn't just cut straight to the principles of it, where he'd say, well, like, it's kind of weird that a woman's like making a woman's entire self-worth, you know, an economic unit in a political system or something like that. Like, it is kind of like anti-feminist, although it's claiming to be feminist. It's like, is feminism basically like women make X amount of money, therefore women are valid or something like that? I mean, it's kind of bizarre.
Yeah. Well, you know, like it's and the whole reason like they did civil rights and like they brought women in the workforce was literally just to drive down wages. That was it, right? You know, I mean, there was absolutely nothing more to it. Like all of that shit was literally just because like there was rampant fucking inflation due to the fact that like our workforce was, you know, I mean, basically like the factory of the world up until the 1980s when they opened up fucking China, right? And the rest of the world started getting caught up after being bombed out after World War II. It took them 30 or 40 years to get rebuilt. To be honest with you, like, you want to hear a crazy thing? Berlin wasn't finished being rebuilt after World War II until fucking 2007 or 2008, right? Like this is the catastrophic shit that like we don't have that conversation about because we want to assume that like all of the things that, you know what I mean, like happen to us is our like it's because of our ideas and our politicians and like our fucking systems and our way of life. You know what I mean? It's just better than everybody else's, and that's just not fucking true, right? There's so much physical stuff that's involved with that. And once you start adding in the fact that, like, you know, with the Marshall Plan, you know, I mean, after World War II, where like we shipped like all this fucking goods, and you know, even with Lend-Lease during World War II, the amount of resources that we dug out of the ground in America ended up like causing us to have to like stand here and dig deeper for shit. And then you also got to start adding in like, you know, how about this one? We ran out of fucking oil in 1971, like flat out. Like U.S. oil production peaked 71, and it didn't regain until 2017. You know, and that's because of fracking, and nobody's made $1 off of fracking yet. There's zero profit has been made at all with fracking because it's so fucking hard to do, and the production time. It's not about like the amount; it's the time. So, like literally, like a fucking fracking well only produces right for a year. And then you got to move on and frack another fucking well, right? So it's not like back in the day where like you stick a hole in the fucking ground, you know what I mean, just start sucking it out and it stays pumping for like 50 fucking years. That's not it, right? You like it literally just produces for, you know what I mean, like fucking a year, and then it trickles down to like 2% of like original peak, and then it just stays there for a while as long as you can, and then, you know what I mean, it basically just dribbles into nothing after 10 years. We don't talk about these things. You know what I mean? We don't want to have these real fucking conversations about resources and geography because everybody goes, what about thorium and fucking, you know, fucking all the entire fucking shit's like, bro, do you know how much it costs to like process fucking, you know what I mean, thorium? Like, that shit ain't cheap.
Yeah. Well, and I kind of see where you're coming from as far as like the whole solve the problem by forcing people in America to pay Americans a decent wage, especially if you take women out of the workforce. Like that is like something that you could actually, I mean, it would be hard to get that kind of law passed, but if you could get it to pass or find some way to like force it to be like, you know, for
find some way outside of the law to make it enforceable. Let's say, I mean, I'm trying to speak to code, but you know what I mean. Like, somehow,
all you have to do is like get out of the way of unions, right? And that shit'll happen tomorrow. But like the problem is the government fights against fucking unionization because it's bad for like GDP number go up. Like it's all right. So there was an 18.
The way that they measure GDP instead, though, or.
Well, no, all right. So here's what it is. All right. So like when you talk about like a company with profits, right? And I mean the share of like profits that has been going to like the stockholders and like the CEO and all these type of things, right? Had an 18-point swing from 1965 until like 2001, right? And so like the problem is that amount of money, right? Like there's a certain amount of money that you have to pay to your workers, and I mean just as an in general thing because of supply and demand. Right. But like before we get to like actual slavery where it's like, hey, listen, we're gonna have to like set up company towns and get back to like some old models. But like, so when you have all this money being pumped to the top, right, into stockholders, what that's really doing is supporting the baby boomers, right? At the end of the day, it's supporting the retirees. That's what they're doing. They're using, they're basically taking the blood of the young and transfusing the fucking old. Like it's what's going on in the end of the day.
Sorry, I stepped away from the computer. I couldn't hit the unmute button. But well, have you ever listened to Stefan Molyneux at all, or do you have any opinion on him?
I talked to him back in the day, right?
I think I might have called into a show once or twice. I can't really remember.
Yeah, I called in a couple of times. Right. I don't know, like I feel like he's an asshole. Right? He's like Aaron Clary. Like he's one of these guys who thinks that individualism will save this, and that's just not how it works. Like his whole like libertarian fucking NAP fucking retarded nonsense, right? Like it's fucking dumb. You know what I mean? Like all these people should probably be fucking thrown into the ocean. It wasn't for the fact we needed him as a voting block. Like I'd just ignore him the whole time. Like he's trash, right? Just as a whole. He's fucking hot garbage.
Well, what's remarkable to me about him is that I can see his ideas have permeated a lot of this kind of like Christian nationalist, libertarian-esque, post-alt-right nonsense, and I think it's kind of weird that like he's kind of like some of his points are good, but it's also thrown in, like you said, with so much garbage. It's, to me, it almost seems like it's battle, like he's a Fed. I mean, essentially, I would have to say, like, he's definitely working for the man, because if you look at the consequences of what he's saying, like, it does seem to be like he's trying to lead people down a path where it's like corporations are good. They're going to watch your ass for you. It's just this dirty government that's in the way. It's like, well, I mean,
that's that Reagan era bullshit, bro. That's a Gen X Reagan era ideology. That's that Milton Friedman fucking shit. Remember, like, most millennials like started off as like libertarians, and the reason they did is because like our whole lives we were taught live and let live, right? And I mean, like, oh man, listen, fucking, fight the powers that be, and the powers that be were like Tipper Gore and fucking Barbara Bush and Nancy Reagan and all these people who were like the satanic panic back in the day and shit. So like, we hated these fucking people because like they were like shitting on our fucking music. You know what I mean? Like, and that was, kind of like the vibe when we were kids. And so these guys here internalize that long term. And this is the Ron Paul revolution shit and all that things that ended up leading up to it. Right. But like the libertarianism ideology is just complete dog water, because in the end of the day, you need communities. Right. And I feel bad for Gen X because like they were surrounded by baby boomers who were like the worst humans in the history of humankind. You know what I mean? So like they didn't trust their neighbors, And on top of that, they like their moms and them and like their fucking wives and their sisters and like their grandmothers were propagandized on the news every day, right? The stories were like, something in your house is killing you. Your neighbor's a pedo, right? Fucking get your kids' candy X-rayed at the fire department or the police department because people are putting razor blades in your shit, and all of it was lies. Right, it was all just ways to sell fucking advertising to keep eyes on fucking Target, right? And like, but it just bred this distrust, right, in your community and the people around you and the motherfuckers who you're supposed to love and rely upon, and they ended up being like extreme individuals, and there's nothing they could do about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, and I mean, I think I could always like pick it apart, but I think I generally agree with you. And I think, I don't know, it's just one of these fucked up, the lack of real conversation going on. Like, I guess he's reviewing Sam Tripoli's fucking new debate thing or whatever, and it's like, Pearl Davis versus Anna Kasparian. It's like, you're really going to start a debate league, and that's like the opening show. It's like, is that really like what people want to see right now? I don't know. I mean,
Oh, listen, that shit sells, dog. You know what I mean? Like, internet beef debate forums fucking sell. Right? It's what it is. They make money off of it.
So I mean, what do you think of Sam Tripoli?
I don't really know Sam Tripoli all like that. I'll be honest. I don't really know him.
Nice.
Isn't he like one of them comedians from like Joe Rogan or some shit?
Yeah, some shit like that. Some retard.
Yeah, I have no idea. Right. Again, like, these are all grifters now. Right. Pearl's a grifter. You know what I mean? She like bangs black dudes. Anna Kasparian, you know what I mean? Is a like Armenian motherfucking like like an Armenian Christian who works for a guy who literally named his fucking show about
the Young Turks.
The people who displaced her entire fucking people while she's in America and committed the genocide against them, right?
Right, yeah. That's what's so weird about her is like, yeah, like the Young Turks. She joins a show called The Young Turks and she's Armenian. I knew people from Armenia, and they never left that bloodline. Well, I can tell you that, the ones that I talked to. So,
well, like, she's a prototypical feminist. Like, remember, man, like, immigrants, right, in particular, and like Americans, right, American, like what it really means to be American is to say that your bloodline begins and ends with you, and there's nothing else. That's really what it means to be an American.
That's what you're saying. So you're saying it's just like extreme individualism, like worship yourself as if you're the end all be all or whatever.
No, I mean, like, literally, you are all that exists.
Okay, American exceptionalism equals solipsism. I like that.
Basically, right? It's main character syndrome, right? You know what I mean? Like, that there's nothing else, and that's why libertarians are retarded. They're the worst. They're the most Americans of all Americans, right? Like, that's why if you go to like a libertarian like a fucking rally or whatever, like a libertarian chapter or whatever political thing, right? You go there and it's like you will have, Bitcoin criminals, like neo-Nazis, like trannies, homosexuals, right? Bureaucrats. Listen, they run the gambit, right? Because like literally all it is just like me, and just everybody smokes weed and wants to do coke and heroin, right? Like that's what it is.
No, what's funny is like I went to a few MAGA things. Not only MAGA, but also like just like generally like people who didn't like the mask and the vax, and it was very much like that. It was like mostly women of color, and mostly women of color who are immigrants or the daughters of immigrants, right? So I was like, isn't that interesting? And then, like you said, there's like gays and trans, and And I was like, isn't that funny? Like they always say that like MAGA is like the super racist, homophobic, whatever. But that's not what I saw. I mean, maybe it's because I'm in California too, but I think
it is.
kind of
It is because like MAGA out here is literally like it's all just like the base is business owning, like guys who run their own business, fucking usually white dudes, right? You know what I mean, who, you know, are tired of like the DEI and the bureaucracy. That is the majority of MAGA. Like all like the when you drive down the road, you drive down to like a street in like, I don't know, like some backwoods place or whatever, or on the highway, like you'll see like a fucking like a machine shop or like a, I don't know, like a farm or whatever it is, and it'll have fucking Trump, you know, whatever 2024, 2020 or 2016 painted on the roof. You know what I mean? And that's MAGA here. It's very white. Oh, and libertarians are extremely white. It's almost all whites. There's almost no black people in the Libertarian Party.
Well, but like you said, though, there's like this kind of like new version of that where it's like a lot of immigrants are like business owners. And so like, you know, they also see themselves as like this kind of hyper individualized like business thing. Like for me, it's like, I never really looked at conservatism or even libertarianism as like a business thing. I was always like, it's an ethics thing or a moral thing. Right.
No.
But like, almost all of these people, they only see it as like I saw this guy one time. He's like, he said he's mixed race. He's like Mexican and like Irish or something like that. And he's like, white people need to say they're sorry for all the bad shit that they've done to people, blah, blah. I was like, but you're mixed, like Irish. So like, you know, and he's like, well, I don't really consider myself like a conservative and like, or that way. He's like, I own businesses and like, I think he's like, I own properties. I'm a landlord and I own businesses. Like, I don't want to pay tax. I don't want to pay my employees too much. And I want to like not pay tax on my landlord activities. I'm like, that's not really conservative in the sense that I would call conservatism, right? It's like, if you're just looking out for yourself and that's it, it's like, you know, maybe that's something else. I don't know what that is, but that's not like, I mean, I know that people can kind of paint whatever they want. Like, I don't even like the term conservative either, but I'm just saying like, if the end all be all of like why you call yourself a right wing person is like, well, I want to make more money and keep it in my pocket and not share it with anybody. It's like,
I made up a meme, right, of fucking libertarianism. Let me see if I can find this motherfucker, right? Because like literally, like I made this. Oh, that's not what the fuck I wanted. Eric, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it and send it to you because like literally, like it's just this is like libertarianism as a whole, right? Is just you know what I mean, fucking it's all just about profit, drugs, you know what I mean, like sex, and there it is. I found it. Hold up, bro. Like, hang on a minute. I'm a motherfucking new. Let me grab this motherfucker. Hold up. Word save. Okay. Yeah, listen, hold up. I'm a motherfucker. How do I show this to you?
You can share screen or you can.
Okay, hold up. Image file, quick access. Here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, listen. You have to like approve it or whatever the fuck you have to do.
All right, got you.
There.
That is actually pretty accurate, I have to say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, when I counted myself as like a anarcho-capitalist, or I didn't see myself that way, but in retrospect, I can say that like that's all I really saw that was involved in it. So, yeah.
This is libertarianism, dog. Yeah, like, what do you want? You know what I mean? Like, this is what it is.
That's funny. That's definitely going to one of my. Yeah. Send that to DM that to me sometime if you get.
I got you, dog. I got you.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. It's so simple, but it's so true. It's like.
Yeah, listen. I'm a meme magic dude. That's why I made that. I wrote that article about memes.
Yeah, I read that article. The article was very good. I need to like really consider more what you're saying on that because it is very true. Because I listened without looking at the memes, and then I went back and looked at the memes, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you know, what I mean, like making memes, like it's an art form, right? In the end of the day, like a lot of people make like really shitty memes. Like, you got to make ones like this where it's just like very simple, right? You know what I mean? Very basic, and like motherfuckers go, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, that's one thing that I've realized is like simplicity is really the king, and so like I've been making these really complicated, like, you know, like me doing an overdub with like all these images, but then I realized like less is more. It's like what you do is you take like your enemy's words and you just let them speak, and then you just like do like a very brief like commentary on what they're saying, and that's so much easier for people to get, where they're like, you don't have to explain it to them, you just kind of like frame it, you just frame it in your frame, right? And then people are going to get it more easy, I guess, if that makes sense, right? It's like the lady getting run over by the car. I just added like Curb Your Enthusiasm music to it, right? And I was like, and that did very well. And I was like, okay, like a 4-second clip of her like trying to run over the ICE agent, like it gets the point across, right? Like, you know, it's just very oops, and, you know, I just happened to try to hit a guy and got shot. I mean, it's like, you know, it gets the point across. I don't need to like explain it in depth or something, right? So yeah, I need to really think about the simplicity of it all. Like simple works much better. Like, every meme that I've made that's like overly simplistic, it seems that the chances of being quality are much better for sure. So yeah, that was an interesting article you wrote. I didn't read the one that you wrote yesterday yet, but
yeah, I mean that one's a little longer, a little more technical type of shit. You know what I mean?
No, but watching how people react to what you're saying is really funny. Like, I don't know how much of that you're doing on purpose to like rage bait, but don't comment on it. I'd rather just like not think about it. But I think it's like whatever you're doing, it's working. So just keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, you know, you gotta like the titles, right? As an in general thing, you know what I mean? Fucking like most stuff, you have to clickbait, right? Like you have to clickbait on your titles. You know how like fucking shit works with thumbnails and all that type of shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's working for sure. And
yeah,
but it's like, to me, it's funny because all the comments are not something that I would see in it, but that's what's kind of a trip for me is like everybody's takes that I see, like everybody's takes on what you're saying is not what I would say at all. Like, it's kind of funny. It's not. It's like it would never come to mind what their reaction is to it, right? But it's really funny, the reaction. And then like this other person's like, you're a Nat sock? And then they're like, yeah, I'm a Nat sock. It's like, oh, tell me more about this. It's like, it's like, I don't know why it's really funny. It's like because it's a very diverse. I mean, for, you know, as far as what's on, as far as what I've seen on Substack, it is a very diverse group of people that are reacting. So
yeah. Like I'll have everybody from, you know what I mean, like strange, you know what I mean, like fucking baby boomer civic nationalist to like fucking national socialist with fucking swastikas in their profile, right? You know what I mean? Like I have this crazy file. Then there's like fucking women, you know, from like down south who always follow. I had a whole bunch of weird motherfuckers who follow my shit. It's strange and heavily comment and whatnot. You know, like some of that though, like I was kind of testing something. Kulak wrote an article about how he thinks that like every time there's like an inciting type of article or like post written, you know what I mean, you always end up with like the 3 different Jones, which is the 3 different responses, which is, you know, nothing ever happens, you're not gonna do shit, and fucking like this black pilled, you know what I mean, just let it burn thing. Right. And I'll be honest, like I didn't see any of that in my fucking comment section.
What, the black pill stuff?
And any of the 3.
What was the other 2? The black pill, I understand. What was the other 2?
Fucking nothing ever happens, right? You know what I mean? And then fucking the you're not gonna do shit, right?
Yeah. No, I noticed like your level of discourse is actually it's impressive as far as like you're not getting a lot of like overly pedantic people. Like I saw you had a few of them, right? Like in previous articles, but recently you haven't had any of those like weird And so, and what, and actually, I don't see any of that shit going on. So.
Substack is not for midwits. There's just not a lot of midwittery, right, in Substack.
Well, it seems that they're trying.
This is nice.
It seems like they're trying to push
Maybe
midwittery
dangerous.
onto it, but it's not.
Hold on, what'd you say? What'd you say, TML?
I said that's nice, but maybe dangerous.
Yeah, right. It's like it's actual intellectuals. You know what I mean? Like fucking like for real guys who like they know really big words. They start off their article and it's like, the fuck did you just say, bro? Like what was that? What was that shit that you were just talking about? That shit's fucking crazy. Right, hold on, let me see if I can find this article I was reading earlier, man. This shit was fucking just immediately started off with just going ham.
Yeah, I gotta break out of here in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want to talk about pre-Socratics, call into my show.
Yeah, man, listen, fucking like these guys, they go fucking crazy. Like it's fucking bananas.
Yeah, I know Machine's about to start a show, and I think we're going over the thing. I want to keep this running, but I've got a few things I've got to do in the near future too. So it's not fair to ask everybody to stay if I'm not going to be around. But I always do. I always ask anyways, of course, but it's not fair for me to ask. But I do want to cover some of the stuff with you. I've just got a tight schedule now.
Yeah, man, listen, I'll be honest with you. Like I fucking, I don't know, like I called into work tonight and they were like, yeah, listen, we ain't got shit. Fucking it's slow right now because it's like fucking January. So you had like a lull after fucking Christmas and the holidays or whatever. You know what I mean? So like fucking, I had a night off and Shorty got naked and I was like, okay, down. You know what I mean?
The stars align, you gotta run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, guys. Yeah, you gotta go take care of business. Like fuck the bullshit.
Yeah, well, it's like you get some lemons, you make some lemonade. There you go. Literally and metaphorically. So I was gonna ask, what would you guys, Machine? Are you doing music only, or are you doing a panel later on, or?
It's an open panel, but it's just gonna be about pre-Socratics the whole time. So it's up to whoever wants to contribute. I mean, I'm only gonna talk about it for like an hour, maybe only half an hour. It depends on who joins. So it is what it is.
Sure. Nice. I know. So you're about to go right now and start your thing up. Tom, you'll be around later today, so go.
Yeah, probably. I gotta go write an article myself. You know what I mean?
All right, cool. Yeah, I got the young one over here, the youngling, getting ready to break some shit.
Go spend some time with your kids, man. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I appreciate you guys. We'll go ahead and end here, and we'll pick this up next time. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, peace, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, peace, guys. Yeah,
Peace,
Lord
man.
Pinoid.
Later, man.